How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with a beer I am bonkersly intrigued about, and that'd be Uberon. It's a Bell's beer. Comes courtesy of my boy Rick. Thank you very much, brother. And it's an American wheat ale aged in bourbon barrel. So, I think if you live in the United States, you probably have had Oberon at one point in time in your life. It is a quintessential summer crusher. This is kind of beefed up barrel-aged version of that. It says, when winter comes, snowbirds travel south, but this lucky batch of Oberon headed to the barrel, Uberon, is a bourbon barrel-aged version of our iconic American wheat ale. It's strong and spicy and ready to cap off a night in style. This is 2 months old, almost on the nose. It's 11.3%. Regular Oberon's, I want to say like 4 to 5%. So you're talking about a wheat wine aged in bourbon barrels, essentially. That does not suck. So, now we open stuff. I just had the goddamn bottle open right in front of my face. Where did I put it? There it is. Okay, give this a crack. Let's see what's what. The label is alright. It's kind of Oberon-y. Oberon's kind of just, summer crusher, silly label. Nothing too serious. Pour the whole thing in there, why don't you? Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to sit here and wax poetic about how awesome the label is. It kind of looks like Oberon, maybe a little bit clearer. Oberon has this soft little orangey kind of haze to it. This might be coming off a little bit clearer. And it doesn't have a big head on it, but you're not going to expect a big head because it is a bourbon barrel aged beer. Wheat wine, not expecting a ton there. So, does it look like a wheat wine? Sure. I'm really curious about this nose. One more time. That's a weird nose, man. Yeah, there's really not much. The first whiff I got of it, I think it was just a blow off, like a sulfuric blow off. Because it kind of had a little bit of like egg farty that I was confusing with like a Band-Aidy peat mossy scotchy vibes, like Lagavulin and stuff. But now there's really not much there. Both on the beer side of things and the barrel side of things, you could tell there's a spirit barrel involved. Very minimal. There's probably more wood than anything else. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like second or third use barrel. And there's really not much there as far as the beer goes either. There's really just a soft little sweet maltiness, but very minimal. Going into this blind, I don't think I would peg this with a barrel, spirit barrel, or a double-digit ABV, to be perfectly honest with you. It doesn't really smell like much of anything, at least to me. Yeah, very neutral. We're diving in. Cheers. That's weird. That's weird. That's a weird beer. It is hot. That's not hot. Alcoholic. And I want to discern or differentiate between heat and alcohol. You can tell there's a big alcohol blow off, but it's not like it's burning the back of my throat or anything like that. You just get this evaporative alcohol kind of thing when you actually dive into it. There is a soft wheat wine characteristic to it, but it's very, very minimal. It's not aggressive at all. Do we want something that's hyper aggressive? To a certain extent, it's 11% wheat wine. We're not excluding the barrel at this point. I mean, you get the soft little washed out kind of caramel thing. That's the coolest part of this, is that washed out kind of caramel thing. That's weird. Weird. It's not a negative beer. There's nothing negative about it. There's no off flavor. I mean, that caramel can be confused with butterscotch, but I think it's just a combination of wheat wine and bourbon. But there's really nothing to it. There's an oak tannin presence here that's obvious. It kind of gets a little smacky dry on the end. It's probably the high alcohol content burning off also that's accentuating that. I mean, it is a wheat wine. You can tell it's a wheat wine, but it's a very kind of blah, kind of base, kind of like, my Fisher Price, my first wheat wine kind of experience to it. And really, the spirit barrel, like I said, the bourbon really just kind of melds with that wheat wininess because you have little caramel vibes. There's no kind of big bourbon characteristic here. It's all over the place. It's thin. It's not impactful. And it really is not like, I think the beer itself is kind of just blasé. At the same time, I think the barrel might be a second use barrel or something akin to that, because it's really not giving me a big bourbon characteristic more than spirit / generic barrel characteristic. That's all I got, man. Big disappointment. I'm not gonna lie to you. Rick sent off a couple of bottles of beer. And 3 of them were Bell's beers. One was Fruit Fight, barrel-aged Fruit Fight, which I thought was kind of fun. The 35th edition Expedition special reserve, whatever, that thing was bonkers good. This is the one I kind of was most curious about, and the one that let me down the most. Really, I wanted to know what they were going to do with Oberon to make it work in a barrel, and it just kind of tasted like they scaled it up without thinking about it, and then threw it in a second-use barrel because that's what they had laying around. I'm not saying that's what they did, but that's what it tastes like. And to be perfectly honest with you, it's Bell's, and not that they're immune to making non-amazing beer, but more often than not, their stuff is quite fantastic. And to get something like this that is just, honestly, and this is probably the worst thing I could say about barrel-aged big ABV beer, boring. It's just boring. It's super generic. I'm very surprised. I'm very, very surprised. So, yeah. I mean, it's a month old, too, so 2 months old, basically. It's not like it's lost a zip on its fastball because of time or anything. I think it's just, I think they tried something. It didn't land. That happens, I'm going to wait for this to warm up. It's not super cold. It's probably 48 degrees. I've a hat on because I messed my hair up when I tried to cut it myself, by the way. I know it's weird to see me with a hat on. But I don't think it's going to open up. It's because it's not that cold. It just might add a little bit of something to the beer, but it's just kind of... Yeah, that's it. Imagine taking a Werther's Original Caramel and, just dissolving it in a glass of water and putting in, a drop or 2 of, I don't know, wheat grain alcohol or something in there. I don't know. That's kind of how it comes off. Yeah. Not offensive, not negative, just really not what I wanted, nor expected, nor hoped for. Isn't one of the better wheat wines I've had as of late? No. Barrel aged? No. Bang availability? No. No idea. I'm curious about this. Comstock, Michigan, Rick, anybody, please let me know what this costs and leave you with, if you like, well, we like this. Honestly, and there is a place for this. I could see people liking this. If you like high ABV beers with minimal kind of ruthlessness, that's a bad word to use, minimal impact, and you want something that has soft vibes. If you wish you could get a barley wine or wheat wine that drinks 5% but still retains its ABV, and you think barrel aging is always way too aggressive and you want something a bit minimal, get this. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Done. Let me know if you've had this down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers. Social media stuff, Beer Messy, podcasting stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little, Bells right now. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.